What's up, you guys? Forrest here with the FOCO Flow Show. Excited for this week's episode where we get a chance to review the TranzX Kitsuma 150mm dropper post. So we've had a bunch of dropper posts on the channel, and in my life as a mountain biker, I've had high-end bike yoke revives on the Ripmo V2 and had the factory transfer before from Fox. I've had low-end droppers like the KS Lev and the Brand X. Some of those ones have done great, some haven't done quite as well, and I've had almost everything in between, so I've got a lot to compare it to in search of the perfect dropper post for the perfect price point. So this one's super affordable, and the reason for it is the Salsa Timberjack I've been riding while Ripmo was laid up has a higher seat post height, which means I can't quite get it dropped low enough with the 180 to 160mm travel on the one up. Couldn't quite get it, my back was starting to hurt. So I was looking for an affordable option to get down to 150mm of travel so we can get that body geometry absolutely perfect. Should be a quick and easy install. We'll show you some of that. We'll talk about this dropper on the Timberjack, and then we'll get out and get a couple of ride highlights and some first impressions. If you ran this dropper for long term, comment below. Let us know how it's held up over long term, because in the end, that's what we all really want out of a dropper post. And then make sure, if you're enjoying the content, to like and subscribe. We got new videos every Thursday at 7 a.m. to help us all get out there together and find that flow. So I assume your need for a dropper post on your bike needs no explanation. It's one of the best innovations for mountain biking. The TranzX dropper post is only $159. That is an incredibly affordable price point for droppers that can range upwards of $400. Looking at you, bike yoke. This one is intriguing. It's a coil dropper instead of air, so you can't adjust the pressure, but it's got all of the different seat post diameters. That's one of the most important things to confirm: internal, external routing, and of course, different lever options. So super interesting. I've started to see this TranzX dropper post spec'd on some of the middle level tier bikes, your $2,000, $3,000 full suspension hardtails. So I wanted to give it a try because of the price point and the need to quickly adjust the travel insert diameter that I had on the Timberjack. So we'll see where it is here. It's available at a bunch of different places. I'll leave a link in the description, but let's get into the unboxing, get a feel for the install, and of course, get a couple of early ride impressions. All right, TranzX dropper post. Let's see, you see these spec'd. A lot of other kind of low to medium end bikes. Inspire your ride. All right, TranzX. See what we're working with here. The box is pretty straightforward. Here it is. Insert diameter, not too bad, or sort of length. You've got the minimum insertion. We're going to try to get this somewhere in here. 150 mil on the Timberjack. And so, before we get too excited here, can't hear anything. No, that's just sticker. Give me a sticker. Come on. Let's see. Full installation manuals, warranties at na.tranzx.com. All right, not too worried about that. Install looks to be pretty straightforward. And in here we have a little screw, a couple of those little levers that go on the end of the cable. So that will be needed to install. Thanks for including those, TranzX. Okay, not much else to it. Actuator lever, this one's coil, so no air to worry about. Clamp that I'm gonna have to mess with, because those suck. Kitsuma dropper, and if you've ever ridden Kitsuma in the Pisgah National Forest near Old Fort, it is a fantastic namesake. I think Knox named one of their wheels that as well. So, the obligatory Whey Test here. We got 0, throw her on there here. We look, we're at 0.579 kilograms. All right, cool, and I think I can even change that. 20 ounces. 1 pound, 4 ounces, 4.4 ounces. All right, so it adds a pound to your bike. Compare that to some of the other dropper posts. It is in range. So we're gonna get this on the bike, simple and easy, and then we'll get a first ride on it and see what we think about it. So there on the Timberjack, you can see that one-up dropper. That's the deepest I could get it, and it only went down to 160 millimeters of travel, and I could not get to a good bike fit. So we need to look at the cable routing, and the one-up dropper comes out roughly the same as the other one is going to go in. So you want to basically push the dropper cable housing into the frame and push it up out of the top after you loosen the seat collar. Slowly pull out the old dropper and then unhook the cable actuator so you can remove the current dropper post. From there, install of the new post is pretty straightforward. You've got the normal actuator there. It comes with its own little ball pin that goes right in there that the cable sits into. I recommend just going ahead and replacing it with a new shifter dropper cable, nothing proprietary there. Feed it out of the existing and then into the new cable housing. You don't have to replace the cable housing, but do replace that frayed cable edge and go ahead and save yourself the trouble. New shifter in there, put that on the end cap, and then you can slide it back in through the existing cable housing unless this is the first time a dropper post is being installed on your bike. You might also have to do the cable housing. Once housing is in and you've got that little ball on the end cap, you slide it in through the open part of the actuator. And then the key to every dropper post install is once you get that little cable into the groove and pulled down, you want to shove the cable housing end cap there into the bottom half of the dropper and then slowly push the dropper down while slowly pulling the cable housing through so that it does not disconnect. I learned that after multiple dropper installs. Once you have it in place, you can guess where you think the seat post height is going to need to be, but you could of course adjust that later. And then from then you want to tighten down the seat post collar so that you can get to your first test. You want to test it right at this point to make sure once you pull the cable through, clamp it down and make sure that actuates like it did right there. From there, you get the arduous task of trying to remove the actual saddle from the old seat post and put the new one on. I hate doing that. Get it as loose as you can, then install in the same way, wrestling with it. Once you get your seat post on, give it a ride around the neighborhood, get a feel for that seat post heights, and then we can take it to the trail. So install was super easy, like every other dropper post just about I've ever installed. No issues there. The initial action feels smooth. Take it over to the trail, give you a couple of ideas of what it looks like there on the trail. How'd I do?
Great. Close one, Dad.
What?
And so we were working on jump practice with Forrest and riding with Haven, and honestly, I've got to say, the dropper post felt fantastic. The action was smooth, it had a satisfying click when it hit the top of the travel, the speed was good, and that's important because on the coil you can't adjust how fast it bounces back. I really feel good about it. The only thing left to find out is how well does it hold up long term. So if you've ridden this dropper, let me know in the comments below. What's your experience been? I think it's great for the price point. So let's get out there together and find that flow.